The metallic clang of boots echoed through the crystalline halls of Queen Zalara's starship, the Astralese Thorn. Impossibly tall guards in obsidian armor dragged a man, earthborn, battle-worn yet defiant, through the glimmering corridors. His wrists were bound in plasma cuffs, energy sparking faintly at his pulse. His name was Kade Ryker, a war captain from the Terran Resistance, captured during a failed raid on one of the Queen's supply fleets. He had expected execution. Instead, he was taken to the throne room. The throne of Queen Zalara was a work of living art, carved from violet crystal, pulsating with life energy. She sat upon it with the elegance of a goddess, tall and luminous, with silver-blue skin and eyes like burning stars. Her hair shimmered like liquid metal, cascading over her shoulders and down to her hips. Her very presence radiated power, and something more dangerous, desire. "So this," she mused, her voice smooth as velvet and sharp as blades, "is the infamous Captain Ryker, slayer of my ships, thief of my drones. Such a small creature to cause such big trouble." Kade lifted his head, blood on his lip, grin still intact. "You're welcome." The guard struck him across the jaw. Zalara raised a hand. "No. Do not damage my new toy." She stood and descended her throne with the grace of a serpent, circling him, studying. "You'll serve a new purpose, human. Since your kind is so obsessed with freedom. Let's see how you like having none." She leaned close to whisper, "You will be my pleasure slave." Kade laughed through blood-stained teeth. "I'm not built for servitude, sweetheart. We'll see." Chapter 2. The Chains That Bind. Days passed, or perhaps weeks. Time blurred in the Queen's inner sanctum. Kade was not tortured, not physically. Instead, he was pampered, fed exotic fruits and bathed in perfumed oils. He was dressed in silken robes and brought to the Queen's private chambers night after night. She never touched him directly, not at first. He simply observed. He realized quickly this was a game. Zalara was not some brute tyrant. She was a hunter, seductress. She wanted his submission not out of cruelty, but dominance. The way she looked at him each night, the hunger behind her stare, betrayed a truth even she hadn't accepted. She wanted to conquer him, yes, but she wanted him to want it. And that was her weakness. Kade, a soldier trained in mind and body, began to turn the game around. He no longer resisted the robes. He wore them with confidence. He no longer growled at her guards. He smiled. He met the Queen's gaze not with fear, but challenge. Every time she tried to assert control, he leaned into it just enough to confuse her. And slowly, she began to unravel. Chapter 3. Fire in the Throne Room. One night, the Queen summoned him earlier than usual. This time no silken robes, just the cuffs. He was brought not to her chamber, but the throne room. Zalara sat waiting alone, her guards dismissed. Her eyes glowed with restrained fury. "You mock me," she said, stepping down from her throne. "I obeyed every order," Kade said calmly. "But you do not yield." He stepped closer. "Is that what you want? My surrender?" She didn't answer. Instead, she raised a hand, and the cuffs dissolved. Power crackled between them. "No more chains," she whispered. "If I take you tonight, it will be by your choice." That was her mistake. Kade reached out and touched her cheek gently. Her breath caught. "You don't want a slave, Zalara. You want someone who chooses you, who meets you as an equal." Her hand trembled. "I could destroy you." He smiled. "Then why haven't you?" The tension between them ignited like a sunflower. She kissed him first, fierce, searching, desperate. He kissed her back with the same fire. But he didn't let her lead. For the first time she was not the predator. He lifted her, spun her, laid her back on the crystal steps of her own throne. And there, beneath the burning gaze of the galactic stars, the queen of 1,000 worlds surrendered. Not to a servant, to a man. Chapter 4. The Queen Who Changed. The days that followed were different. Zalara still ruled, but her demeanor shifted. The palace grew quieter. The executions stopped. Her empire no longer expanded by force but diplomacy. The galaxy whispered of the queen's strange behavior. And beside her always was Kade. He was never called her consort, never her slave. He walked freely, spoke freely. She listened to him, not as a toy but as a partner. In private their fire never dimmed. But Kade had not forgotten Earth. Nor had he forgotten the war. "Why me?" he asked her one night, as they watched stars drift outside her glass chamber. She was quiet for a long time. Then said, "Because you're the first man who didn't try to conquer me or cower before me. You saw me, not the crown." He pulled her close. "Then let me help you wear it better." Together they began to rewrite the galaxy. Chapter 5. Rise of the King. Years passed. Queen Zalara became Empress of Unity, merging empires rather than crushing them. The Terran resistance signed a peace accord. And Kade. He never returned to Earth. He didn't need to. He stood beside her, not as a prisoner but as a king in everything but name. Loved, feared, desired, respected. When asked how he had tamed the alien queen, he only smiled and said, "She never wanted a slave. She wanted someone strong enough to free her from herself." And so, the man sentenced to be a pleasure slave became the one who ruled her heart. And through her the stars,